Want the reward? Do the damn work. Challenge yourself. Inspire change. Choice, not luck. Hey everybody, Todd Crandall from Racing for Recovery, bringing you not only a new podcast, a new subject. I have three awesome gentlemen with me today who will introduce themselves, and we are going to talk about some heavy, heavy stuff, and we're also going to talk about the awesomeness of how they've conquered that heavy stuff and are true examples of recovery. So I have Millie, I have Kevin, and I have Diamond Dave. So it's an ode to David Lee Roth there for a minute. But any one of you guys, open it up. Dave, why are you doing this and what are we doing today?
Right now I'm here to spread the information that you don't have to live a certain way. You know, you can live a decent life without having to have the stigma of being in prison on your shoulder every day of your life. You know, you can walk around proud and be a man in a respectable way and not a disrespectful way. That's the way I feel that prison makes people. So
that's a good start. Kevin, why are you here today?
I'm here because I'm working on healing my mental health. In so many years that I did in prison, I didn't know how to be this person that I learned how to be today, being here at Racing for Recovery. You know, a lot of emotions, all ranges of emotions that I didn't know how to control them, and I didn't know how to be around people in prison, and I didn't know how to be around people in society. Like, it's just a range of things for me.
Wow, man. Mr. Millie.
I'm here to let everyone know that just because you went to prison doesn't mean that you can't recover from it. Yes, there's a lot of trials and tribulations that you go through in there. You see things, you do things that you don't want to do, but there is recovery from it. Yes, there's going to be damage to you, but in the long run, you will work through it. The memories are always going to be there. Pain is always going to be pain, but recovery is forever, and you will recover from it. It's just a matter of time and patience with your life, and just remember where you came from and where you are today.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be fire, as the kids say today. So I'm going to start off with a question based on what you guys said right there. The question to start us today is, why did you end up in prison?
I went to prison for aggravated robbery and felonious assault. I robbed a drive-through while I was very intoxicated on every drug under my belt. I don't remember a thing. I woke up in a hospital bed, handcuffed to a bed, and they filed charges against me for aggravated robbery. I was in shock. I didn't think that I would ever be capable of doing that type of thing, but obviously I did. I was very gullible back then. I would do anything to get my next high. My friends would talk me into anything, and I did it. And it cost me 7 years of my life, and I lost everything in there. Yeah.
Kevin.
Let me put this down. My story starts when I was a kid, when I was abused as a kid. My trauma. My trauma led me to my addictions after my adolescence to teen years. In my teen years, my addiction came out really strong right after the abuse was stopped. Straight into drinking and marijuana, all kinds of drugs. I was never right mentally. I was definitely had mental health issues. And I didn't know how to cope as a person, as a kid, a person, teen, I don't know. I was struggling, and I made some bad decisions, and I ended up doing 13 years of my life in prison.
Wow.
But, I'm so grateful for today. so grateful for today.
Wow. Millie, I'm going to go back to you. Based on what Kevin said, do you want to add to your why?
Yeah, there's a lot of why to it.
Yeah.
As a kid too, I was very abused. My dad was a very violent man to me. My mom and him split up. He was an alcoholic and he took a lot of pills. He would used to beat me continuously because he was unhappy with his life, but with him being an alcoholic and pillhead, it led to me being a drug addict myself because I didn't feel safe while I was there. Plus I hung out with the wrong crowd. Everyone I talked to they did drugs or they were violent people, so it just like led into my life. It was hard. I missed my mom a lot. She left me when I was young, and I was a mama's boy, so that really hurt. That led to a lot of my drug use to cope with my pain. It was a bad decision, but today I feel like, I needed that, because I wouldn't be the person I am today and heal like I am right now, where I'm at, because I'll never forget it. It's always going to be there regardless, but I'm going to have to push through that pain and misery of growing up like that. No one deserves to be like that. Some people's got lucky, some people's got it bad, and the bad ones are always the ones that's always hurting in the inside. And they usually go to drugs, and that's the only thing they got to cope with themselves. So that's where it led to me.
There you go. 2 for 2. Dave.
What led me to prison, in my opinion, is just growing up very poor, joining a gang, the abuse that I took as a child, physical, mental, sexual, all of them, from a young age, from people that I trusted. Took all the abuse from all of them, and which led me to joining gangs. And being in the gang life, I felt that I needed to be big man and do this, that, and the other. And by the time I was 16 years old, I was being sent away for 8 years in adult prison. I got bound over as an adult. Didn't get out until I was 24 years old. When I went in, I weighed 130 pounds. I came out, I weighed 250 pounds. Was quite a bit bigger. My mindset was so far to the left that I eventually went to prison again, and again, and again, which I didn't really start doing harder drugs other than marijuana and alcohol until I was in my 30s, and which eventually led me to prison again. So, yeah, that's it.
So there's a theme in this, and right away, boy, I got a ton of questions, man. We could make this a 5-hour podcast, probably a 5-day podcast, just on the responses that you guys courageously shared. There's a common theme, and it's trauma. Mm-hmm. So with that, did anybody ask you while you were in prison, a counselor, and anybody ask you, what happened, right? And what do you need for what you guys talked about?
Never.
No, that's not even a thing. Right.
See, you're laughing. Why is that funny?
Because they just don't care about you in there. They don't at all. I never had anybody ask me if I'm okay, do I need help, how's my mental state, anything. They just wanted to just talk about what they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about your feelings or how you felt or what's going on with you in there. You tell them you got a problem with somebody, they just tell you to talk to somebody else. They don't care. They really didn't like to listen to your story because they hear it every freaking day, and they just literally push you off to the side. I never had help like that. Like I got help here. I don't have help. Like if I had that like kind of help in there, like people that actually cared and stuff, I probably wouldn't have been as bad and ruthless as I was in prison. Because that place turned me into an animal, and now it's like I'm more subtle and more kind and good-hearted than I was. It took a long time for me to get out of that shell of like anybody talking to me crazy, and I didn't do what I did in prison. Like, you even said anything crazy to me, I was in your face. There wasn't no talking, no nothing. And it was just, I didn't have help like that in there. They just sent you to the hole. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't care about you, and they're sending you for 9 months at a time thinking that's rehabilitation. That's just making you more crazy, ready to get out to do more damage. And, yeah, and I spent 3/4 of my sentence damn near in the hole from fighting and doing dumb shit, dumb stuff.
Kevin, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I have to add on to that. They do give us a psychiatrist that gives us pills, and everything's supposed to be okay after that. You know, we have feelings, but we don't have feelings, and we have to block those feelings out because we have to deal with incidents inside, with just outside your race or outside, you know, like different cities of Ohio. Like, if you're from Cleveland and Toledo don't get along, so like, yeah, you got to protect yourself. There's so many things that we have to be okay with. I went into prison innocent. I didn't leave innocent, I promise you. Like, that changed my world, my perspective on people. I didn't trust people as it is. It got worse. Like, I had this one mentality to survive. That's what I had to do in prison. And that's all I could do.
Man, Dave, nobody asked you why. Did you
Absolutely
want
not.
them to?
You know, I was still a child when I went in. I didn't know what to think. I was scared. That's a hard thing for me to admit, because fear is something that you never wanted to show. You know, so even to this day, it's hard for me to say that I'm scared of something, or that I'm scared in any kind of way, or that I have some type of fear. Took a lot of time of working on myself for me to adjust to that. No one ever asked me anything. It was kind of like Kevin said, that they medicate you. You know, they want to silence you. Thorazine, you know, Risperdal, Thorazine, whatever else. You know, if you remember when I was a client here, I had to have surgery on my chest.
Yep.
Yeah, part of that was because of the medicine they were giving me. Yeah.
So with respect to, we may have to, you've got to cut this out. You have to. Are you okay if I talk about some of our stuff in counseling sessions?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, sorry. You don't have to cut that out. Hearing you, were you afraid when you reached out to me? When you and your significant other, I don't want to put her on blast right now either. I got to watch myself here, but you guys were reaching out to me for a long time.
Yep.
Did you recall having fear with reaching out at that time?
It was a fear of the unknown, like what's going to happen. What's going to happen when we leave our world behind and place ourselves into rehab. So we had never done it, anything like that. We didn't know. We thought we were going to come here and just clean up from drugs and back to our happy old same lives, you know.
Yeah.
And while here, we found out that our lives weren't happy at all. Our lives were miserable. And cleaning up is just the beginning.
Yeah. So here's another question in this. Did you want somebody to ask you what's wrong or what do you need? Was there a yearning to have somebody basically do what I'm doing with you guys now? Were you even cognizant of that or not? But if you were, like, did you want somebody to do what basically Racing for Recovery has been doing while you were inside of there?
I've been begging it for all my life, since a little boy. I just wanting help, somebody to be there for me. It was a rough life, but I've been here now 11 months, and I just started my healing process. And like, if I didn't have this place in my life, like, I would probably be out there dead.
Wow. Millie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as him. I mean, growing up, it was very rough. I lost all my friends from drugs. So a lot of funerals, and when I was in prison, I lost 15 of my best friends in there, and getting out to them being dead was really hard. I didn't have no family. I didn't talk to nobody on the phone. I didn't get kiosks, messages, nothing. I barely got any food, money sent to me from my dad. I literally hustled myself in there. I was literally tattooing, burning soot for the tattoo artist, drawing, washing dishes, cleaning shoes, cleaning houses that I didn't want to do, just to make a few soups, you know what I mean, so I can not starve because the food's horrendous in there. I asked for help all the time. All I wanted was my family, and I know I made a huge mistake, but I know they needed to heal from my mistakes. But I literally went a couple years before I even tried to attempt to call them, and they still never talked to me until about like my 5th year, and then that's whenever they started talking to me. But it was hard, yeah. Like when you're in there, it's all you. You like how he said, you vent for yourself. You either click up with somebody or other, you know what I mean, or stand up for yourself. You know what I mean? I seen things in there that was horrible, and the counselors didn't give a shit. You know, I seen some brutal things in there, and you know, all I needed was help, and I needed people to be there for me. When you see someone get murdered, that's a whole nother story. You know, I seen people literally get killed, stabbed, and damn near decapitated, and it was like traumatizing to my life, and I still cannot get out of it. I still have nightmares on it, even to this day, and those are things that I'll never forget, and that's why I'll never want to go back to that place, because, you know, $10 worth of soups cost you your life. You know, you talk to somebody that's pretty high up in there, has got life, and you see somebody get their life taken and they think it's a joke, and then you realize, okay, this ain't a joke. Because I was terrified when I first went to prison, because where I was going was gladiator camp, and you literally I fought my very first day I was there. Literally. They come and try to take my stuff, and I didn't go, and they jumped me, and I still didn't give them my stuff. They got some of it, but they didn't get all of it. But I needed help, man.
Yeah.
You know, it was rough. I was by myself for all them years. And the only thing I had was to either make a family or just be by myself. So I ended up clicking up in there, and that was probably the worst mistake I ever did.
Dave, any concept of like what you needed in there? Like the guys were saying, you know, basically, you know, Kevin was like, yes, I've wanted this my whole life. Were you cognizant of that? Like what you really needed?
It probably took some years of being in there before I realized that I did. You know, it took some growing up. At first few years, you know, I just wanted people to leave me alone. You know, stay away from me. I literally liked being in a cell by myself. So I just to get away from everyone and all the chaos. You know, so I kept getting in trouble. Ended up in maximum security, supermax. You know, so. I liked being in a cell by myself, so I did violent things to people because I was scared out of fear. And the hurt of my family and friends not being there for me once I did get myself into the trouble of being in prison. No one was there for me. It seems to be a common theme with all of us of growing up in broken families and abuse, you know. I never really realized that of other people because, you know, I mean, for the most part, people that have been to prison for a long time, we don't usually talk about our feelings, you know what I mean? And when we do, it's the wrong feelings, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I really realized that what I needed. I knew I needed something. I was yearning for something. I didn't know what it was, though, for some years, and yeah.
You can't see my watch. I need glasses. You guys you're doing a great job. This is exactly what I wanted to get across today. It's heavy. So quick yes or no question. And I think I want to ask one more hard question, and then we're going to turn it around and get into the healing benefits because I want them to hear that. Mm-hmm. Here's the question. Do you guys feel you have PTSD from being in there. Sorry, I'm kind of chuckling at that, not out of disrespect,
That's why I'm laughing.
but sorry.
I'm diagnosed with it.
Yeah.
It's not just the stuff from prison, but stuff from my childhood.
Okay.
Like, I have, it's weird. A lot of fears too have become PTSD, like nightmares. I have night terrors, I should say, like spiders, fear of falling off a building. All this relates to my PTSD, that having nightmares and waking up and not be able to go back to sleep all night long because I'm just terrified.
Wow. Dave, PTSD?
Yes.
Millie?
Yes.
Okay, one more hard question. Can you guys talk about what being in there, the impact? I want some emotions of the impact of going in there, some words to describe your time in there.
Painful, emotional, just misery, chaotic, just overall hell.
Wow. Kevin?
I'm gonna go to my Fed bit. So I went to Florence, Colorado, and I thought I was ready. Like, this is my second bit, and I thought I was ready for this, right? Because I did prison. I survived the first time I was there, right? No. I'm one of two people from Toledo, Ohio, out of 300 from Mexico, 300 gang members from California, and all the states that surround Colorado. And like, the fear that I had to hide was different because I had to roll with the white boys. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And like, if I didn't do what they said, they're gonna run me off yard, which eventually happened. But like, the fear eventually led, when I did get out of the federal prison and they took me down to the next city where the bus stop was, I had a nervous breakdown and I had to stay in the hospital overnight. And I couldn't get to the half house in time. Like, I had to be in Toledo at a certain day and time from the Greyhound bus. But I had a total nervous breakdown. I cried myself. Like, I just couldn't believe that I survived it.
Wow. Dave, some emotions that you felt in there?
I think I was depressed a lot. Anger, depression. I felt, I guess I would say I felt weak. I was not in control of my life anymore, and I had to accept that. And it was hard to accept, very hard to accept that I wasn't in control anymore.
Wow.
That one.
Damn. Well, let's turn this around and start talking about how awesome and courageous and powerful and strong you guys are in so many ways that we've seen here. Let's start shifting this to, okay, you come in here. I think all of you have already talked about that this place is different, and I think everybody watching this already knows that. I'm very interested in what that must have felt like, because in my mind I could see like relief. I also, from learning from you guys, it's bullshit. When's the reality? I hear, when's the shoe gonna drop? All that stuff. This can't be real. Let's start taking those emotions you felt, and I want to start seeing, or you guys sharing, what it's been like to come in here and reverse those, begin the healing process to what you're proudly and courageously doing today. Dave, why don't you start this round?
All right. Coming in here on my first day, I came in here with a small trash bag of clothes, probably 160 pounds. Pretty frail looking, scared. But walking into the door, Everyone seemed happy and upbeat, very nice, and they made me feel welcome here, and I felt comfortable. It was very easy to want to stay here. I was coming by myself, but my wife was coming a week later. So I was kind of like the tester for her to see if she was going to be okay here too. And I knew within the first day that she definitely was going to be all right here. The other clients made me feel welcome. I ended up going to Bedford Alliance the very first day here. I got here on a Wednesday. And guy who ended up being my roommate, I'm not going to say his name, I don't know if I can, but he's a former client also. And he invited me to go to church with him onto the bus, and I jumped right on. I didn't have a clue who none of these people were. I just saw a Racing for Recovery van, and I was like, must be good. So I jumped in. And
Cool.
so, yeah, I mean, I felt welcome, and started the healing from the drugs at that point, keeping my mind off of things. I stayed busy, always doing something, and started realizing one day in group that I was talking about prison quite a bit, almost glorifying it.
Yeah.
And it was something that you said, actually, that you had said that you don't care. You want to hear the feelings that were involved in that, and it made me think about it. Why doesn't he care? Does he not care of what I have to say? And I realized, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it at all. You wanted to know how it made me feel so I could heal from that situation.
I'm using some humor now. I appreciate you not beating me up after I said that. Like that. I'm sure I said it from way across the room. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to come back to that. Kevin, go ahead.
This is not my first rodeo with recovery. But, like you said, very much so when I came here, they were treating me like a human being and not worried about when I'm going to pay rent. I'm wow, this is nice. I could get used to people being nice to me and treating me good. Like, where's that happen at? Really? And, I after about a couple of weeks, I asked for help. That was like huge for me. And you guys helped me. I'm like, what? Did you do that? And I'm like, my mind started changing. I still sat back in groups and listened for the first 4.5 months.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that every time. And I had to listen because I was searching for some peace and some happiness. And I seen glimpses of it being here. And so I just rolled with the flow and we started doing things like going on adventures, like going do activities and as a group, and wow, this is amazing. I so grateful for Racing for Recovery.
Did you feel like a human being?
For sure.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I was searching for that all my life. I found it, and that's what kept me still, right?
Beautiful. Millie.
Yeah, this is like my second go around of recovery. When I first got here, I didn't feel like the recovery was working for me because I wasn't learning anything at the other places like I was here, like I am here. I was like how he said when he got in here, people were super welcoming, good-hearted, wanted to know how you're feeling, asking me if I'm okay and everything, and I just felt like how he said, like how Kevin said, felt like a human being, like somebody actually cared about me, you know what I mean? And I didn't share much in group. Took a lot for me to share, and I talked about prison too, when I usually don't, but that was like the help I needed on. The one-on-ones was great. like I started learning things that I didn't know about myself, and the groups here are amazing. I get a lot out of them, and it helped me grow a lot. I think so. I've been told.
For sure.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be smiling, man, if I wasn't, and I feel more happier, man, that I can know how to work on myself and coping and dealing with my problems and my anguishes that I've been through and stuff, and just being a better person, man. You know what I mean? And I tell you what, I would never ask for a better place than this place, and I love it here.
Wow. I told you guys that you're going to teach me some things, and Dave, when you said that, when I'm doing whatever, I let it flow on what I say, and sometimes, and hearing you say that, based on what you guys were talking about, I could see you two especially, Kevin, not so much, but me saying that, I can see the former mentality that you were in, being like, what'd you say to me? Mm-hmm. And that's something my intent is not to offend, but I'm learning to curtail maybe sometimes my delivery, because based on what you guys were talking about, that if I'd have said that to you in where you were, that would have been an issue. But I also loved how you said, what does he mean? Because that to me says, wait a minute, this can be something different that can lead to something good, and it has. So based on that, I'd like to talk, because I know all three of you have done individual counseling here, which is needed. Mm-hmm. You needed it before you went to prison, hence me asking why you went to prison. So what has individual counseling done for you guys to now understand why you ended up in prison and how good you're doing outside of it?
I want to backtrack first.
Okay.
If you didn't say that to me, I would have kept doing that. I would have not stopped to think about that. So I appreciate that. I needed that.
Yeah.
So I just want to let that be known that I needed that.
I'm with you.
I really needed that.
Yeah.
I needed somebody to be stern with me at that moment, and it wasn't so much that you were coming from a bad place when you said it, and I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, we're good. Talk about what counseling did for you here.
The counseling here it was different. I'll tell you that, completely different. I had Michael, and Michael was good to me. He would go in there. Hey, you want a Gatorade? There's some over there. Kind of thing. He'd be sitting there snacking, and so you want a snack? I'm like, oh no, I'm good, man. But it was just relaxing. It was coming in here. What do you want to talk about? It wasn't so much as I need you to tell me why your cousin molested you. That kind of thing. And that I've had that experience with other places. In prison. That's the kind of way they were talking to me and with a psychiatrist in prison, and it was horrible. It was horrible. It was a bad feeling. I never wanted to talk about anything, until coming here. I was able to open up, and it was just a very, very good place to be in, with sitting back there with Michael and a little music playing in the background. He'd ask me if I wanted to listen to different music, and I just go with the flow, whatever you're listening to, man, because I felt like he was in his little zen, and that's what it is. I don't know how to explain it, actually. It was I was able to open up because of it, though. Yeah. I was able to open up, and anything that was on my mind was bothering me, I was able to let it out, and he was just there to listen, and made me feel good.
I'm smiling because, correct me if I'm wrong, but our first session, I was playing music.
Yeah.
And I asked you what you wanted to hear, and I believe you said Led Zeppelin, right? Am I wrong in that? Or Aerosmith?
I didn't know. I didn't realize that music was playing.
That's it.
Yeah. I didn't even the whole thing until I didn't realize music was playing at all, and I stopped and was like, has music been playing the whole time?
Yeah. It was Led Zeppelin.
It was Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. The power of music at sports and music is what the foundation of this thing is, and you're validating that. Kevin, what's counseling been like here for you?
First, I need to say this. I need to say, through my time here, Todd's noticed me crying in group, and then he's come to me in the kitchen and said, and while we're eating, he's like, I see you. You know, his validation. Or the times he noticed my voice cracking when I'm trying to talk in group. It's like when you see the person who's built this foundation for us to heal come to you and let you know that he's there for you, like that's just another thing that made my love of this place even more. I also had Herbster, and I'm not just gonna say Herbster. I had Tina, and she's my case manager, but we have had so many conversations. I also have Steve. Like, this is my team, and, and Amanda's part of that too because she does the groups. But I tell you, if I didn't have them three teaching me, first stop and think. It's okay how you feel. You're allowed to feel like that. When I learned that was like such. I couldn't believe that, right? I didn't know I was allowed to feel angry or sad. I didn't know I was allowed to feel like this. So then they taught me like ways to process my emotions, and like that changed me. And this is like 6-7 months in that I learned this part of it. And like I'm gonna give myself the credit this time. I've been doing it. I've been changing everything I need to change to be a better person. I still struggle with my feelings and emotions, but like if I wasn't here, learning how to be a better son, a man, a person, a human being, like I'm beyond grateful for this place. It saved my soul. It saved my life.
I love how you talk about our staff.
Amazing.
I really like how you said you did this for yourself. So before we move on to Millie here, who are you today?
I'm happy to be Kevin Miller. Took 50 years, but glad I get to be him. Authentic and all, Grateful that they showed me a path that I want to help people like me because they helped me.
That's awesome. Do you feel how your emotion right now, is that a sign of strength?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
It is. Yes. Right on, man.
Yes.
Right on. It's what happens when you turn 50.
Join the club.
Right. Right. James, how's counseling helped you here?
Man, everybody's my counselor. You know what I mean? Honestly, everybody here is awesome. I can't ask for a better team. Amanda's she's been there for me. And I never shared at all in my sessions. I was the locked door. I didn't want anybody to come in, nothing. I just tell them I'm fine. But really, I was hurting like crazy until I found out that she was really there for me. And I love her to death. And she's saved me a lot. She's literally told me things I didn't want to hear. And I fought against her. And then I go back and I would literally be like, man, she was freaking right, And then I would talk to her more and I'd just open up more. Shed a lot of tears in there with her. And a lot of pain and misery, and it felt good to feel normal, not being able to actually let out some of my emotions and stuff because it's been locked up for a long time. Even the other staff, I'd be having a bad day, they would be there for me. They would always tell me everything's going to be okay. If I need to talk to them, I would talk to them about my problems, and they would give me good insight. Some of them would give me tough love, and I didn't want to hear it, but I know that they were right. And, without them, I probably wouldn't be as healed as I am right now, honestly.
Both you and Dave have said that you needed to hear me ask you that, and you've talked about the tough love stuff. Kevin, I'd like to hear that from you. Can you give us an example of something you heard that it could have pissed you off or upset you or whatever? Give us something that you heard that at first was hard, but now you see as an asset.
I'll go with boundaries. I thought they were a manipulation by evil people try to ruin me or get over on me. I come to say that Amanda has taught me different. They are for people. They set boundaries to protect themselves, and it's not used against me like I thought. People were using them against me, so that's why I thought they were evil. But I come to learn that people need to set boundaries so they can protect themselves, and I come to learn to respect that for people who do that. I may still struggle with it, because I don't know how to set boundaries, but I do respect people who do boundaries.
Okay, you guys are just, I get to do what I do. Question. Let's go around, and I want you to talk to the world about what they need to know about you. Dave, what does the world need to know about you?
The world needs to know about me that I am not that person that was in prison. I'm 100% never going to be that person again either. I'm a good person at this point in life. I feel good about myself now. I have confidence that I'm going to stay clean and be on the right path in life. I'm not a criminal. That is a past life.
Yeah. You had talked about before we started rolling that people are looking at you at work as the sober guy or whatever. How's that feel?
I don't really think about it, I guess. I just want to help other people now, and I work in construction, so everyone's on something, drinking, drugs, whatever it may be. They're all on something, and I see it. It's so easy to point out now. I feel sorry for them because I try to talk to them about how they're feeling on why they have to drink every day or whatever, and it kind of hurts me a little bit to watch them hurt themselves every day, because I was once there, so it's very relatable. I actually used to work at this same job when I started using drugs, and I'm proving to myself that I can do this job without drugs by being here. But at the same time, while working here, I want to help people. So they all look at me as the sober guy, and if they have any questions about anything, they usually come to me. Makes me feel good. Like I was in a pretty rough car accident this past Thursday at work, and I wanted to give them a urine test or a urine drop so bad. But because the accident wasn't my fault, they didn't even drug test me. But I was like, come on, man. I gotcha.
That's great. When you were talking about how you want what you have for them, I'm going back to when you were fearful of contacting me all those times at 2, 3, 4 in the morning or whatever, that this is what Racing for Recovery wanted for you. It's the same thing, man.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What you guys gave me, I want to give back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to give it back. Watching people hurt sucks.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Kevin, what does the world need to know about you?
He hit it on the mark. What he just said was, I want to help people because I was hurt, right? And I don't want to ever see another person hurt like I did. And people who helped me heal, helped me grow into a man, I wanted to be able to help everybody. You showed me how to be compassionate, empathetic, have some grace, humility, gratitude. Those words that are on our shirts are not just there for there. They mean everything. They're principles you live by, values, morals. You show me a way to live with peace in it, and like, and you helped me, so I want to give that back to anybody who wants it.
When you describe those three words, empathy, humility, and gratitude, whose shirt is it?
Mine, right?
Yeah, man, there's no question mark behind that. And you also said ours. I love
Definitely,
that.
yes.
I love that. That you're a part of. You understand that? Yeah.
All I can say, like, if anybody out there, you need help, come to Racing Recovery.
What have you taught me? Not just today. What do you think you've taught me?
That's a hard one. I think you learn. No, you already knew the struggles of everybody, and I think you learned that there's another beautiful soul out there, and I helped him heal. I think that.
You're half right.
I'm half right.
I don't think I've helped anybody, but I will say this: you validated
What you're doing.
what you're doing. You validated what this place is. When you said that, damn, I shouldn't have asked that question. When you talked about earlier, when you said that, you've been searching for this your whole life, I'm like, that's why this got created. And you were talking, Dave, gonna get it together. We just want to see people succeed. That's it. There's nothing more. No strings attached.
Yeah.
No other shoes gonna fall. We just want to see you guys do it. And now you're conveying it to everybody who's watching. Like, man, look at these guys. Look where they've been, and look what they're doing.
No, no other treatment center could help me. And I'm not trying to put anybody else down. What I needed was here, and what I got was here, and what I'm going to teach when I leave here is from here.
Right on, dude. Yeah. Millie, what does the world need to know about you?
Oh man, where to start? Well, I once was a damaged individual. My mindset wasn't there. I didn't know who I was, but I grew and turned into a great person, and I see clarity in my life that I never thought I'd ever see. I'm a new person. I'm James Milburn reborn.
Wow.
So
Nice.
I feel that's how I am, because I haven't been this happy in a long time. And I just want to let everybody know that, people make mistakes, and yes, they might go to prison for their mistakes, but they learn from it, and they'll never forget where they came from, and they're always going to be a way of life that's way better than the past, and they're going to grow into be a better person if they can just get their life together and stay sober.
I'd like to end this here, but I can't, because I always ask everybody who I'm doing this with if you guys have a question for me. But we could end it here because that's phenomenal what you guys said. But is there a question you want to ask of me? Why we do what we do? Anything that, since we've been talking today, that you want to ask me about?
I just want to say thank you for everything, for opening this place and giving me the opportunity to learn about myself, and to realize that there's definitely ways of sobriety, and it's how you want to do it. And I like the way that everything here is just teach me to be a better person. And so I'm grateful that you created this place, and I appreciate you.
You're welcome, and I thank you for doing what we do. Kevin, anything you want to add?
I do. What I was saying earlier, how you notice things about clients. Why do you remember those, and in what purpose they serve you?
Because I want you to feel like you're heard. I was just going to ask you too, like, what's I know you said some other things probably to me asking you now, but what's the first real question or conversation that I was interested in that you said in group to my left one day. What subject were you talking about?
Was it grief?
The money with your mom.
Oh, the money with my mom, yeah. That was a hard thing for me. I'm doing no better with grief. I have suffered a few deaths since I've been here, but yeah, I had to ask for help with my money, and like you guys gave me options to deal with,
Yeah.
and it turned out that like never on the first of the month I wouldn't go spend my money on dope every month. Yeah. So for the last 11 months I've been doing the right thing.
That's why I listen to people very, very intently, and I can say this. I like what Millie said. People say a lot of nice things to me, you know. But when somebody asks stuff like that, like, why do you care? It goes back to what Dave said. You know, I needed to hear that. I ask things because I want to know who you are. You know what I mean?
It makes me happy that you do.
It's treating people like a human being, man.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm not used to that.
I understand. Trust me. After today, I understand even more. That's part of. I wanted to do this for a long time, but I want it done the way that we did it today, because in my mind I'm already thinking of what we can do with this. Mainly what you guys can do with this within here to reach other people. My mind is just constantly going like that. Hence me asking the questions I ask. But yeah, Dave, anything you want to ask?
All right, yeah. This is on my mind right now as you're speaking. I was thinking you're sitting in here with three people that we were at some point the scum of society, right? And we are some of the worst people. We're locked away, thrown away like animals, and we have become productive people. Are you finally proud of yourself? That is my question for you. Look what you have done for us. You don't even realize that you've done this for us, but you did.
I'm not asking these stupid questions anymore. Yeah, this one backfired on me. Well, I'm honest. No, I don't. No, I'm if I could kick your ass, I would.
Well, I'm proud of you. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, I can't. I'm proud of a couple things I've done, I think, but overall self, no. But what I'm proud of the fact that Racing for Recovery has done what we've done, that you guys are who you truly were meant to be. You know, even hearing your lead into that question, you know, and you said like, you know, scum and animals. I'm like, no, man, you're hurting human beings that made some poor decisions that unfortunately you ended up where you were. You know, I could have, I don't know why I didn't end up there. I think it's because I was supposed to be doing what I'm doing today that I'm very thankful for. But it's the same pain. We all have shared the same pain. You guys just unfortunately had to pay a heavier price, you know, but the common theme with everybody who's in here is pain is pain. Trauma is trauma. And that's another reason why I wanted to do this. I want people to watch this, even in recovery, without judgment, because you've been where you are, but have empathy and humility and gratitude that they didn't have to experience what you guys did. This was phenomenal. It was exactly what I wanted, man. You know, any final words you guys want to say? Are we missing anything?
With recovery, everything's possible.
That's right. Yeah.
I agree. With recovery, everything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked your answer though, because I promise you there's not a person that's going to hear that answer to my question and not say that they're not proud of you. I guarantee you everyone else is.
Yeah, I just don't know what that. I don't know
Humble.
what that feels
You're a humble
like.
person,
Yeah,
and I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, humble for sure.
You know. Well, I want to keep going. Are you proud of yourself?
I am.
How does that feel?
Makes me feel normal, I guess. Whatever that might be. Being proud of myself is just doing the right thing. I was in line for getting ice cream with my wife at a place close to here, and I saw a family behind me, 3 kids, husband and wife, assumably, and I paid for their ice cream. You know, just you know, it feels good to be able to do something like
That's
that.
cool.
You know, if my car breaks down, big deal. I'll go pay for it. You know what I mean? It's not a catastrophe if something happens. You know.
Right on.
Just
Kevin,
be a
are you
good
proud
person.
of yourself?
Yes, finally. Right.
What does that feel like?
It feels peaceful, right? Knowing I'm doing the things my mother taught me, values and morals, and like knowing that I'm using those in my life again, and like not being a piece of shit person that I used to be because I was a drug addict who didn't care, right? Like, oh, that don't like I come here and they say that don't matter. You're a human being. I'm grateful to know that I get to do these things now. Right?
Right on.
Grateful.
Yeah. Millie, you proud of yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I came from a rough place, so yeah, I'm extremely grateful, and I turned into a humble person because I feel like how he come from with the whole paying for someone else and stuff, just being there for people that I never used to do, just being super generous, having a job that you know what I mean, getting a job, just loving life, man. You know what I mean? I wake up every day humble as hell, grateful that I'm alive, and thankful that I got money in my pocket and I'm not spending it on drugs, and you know, and just enjoying every moment I can of sobriety.
Awesome. Everybody, thanks for watching this one. Share it. These stories need to get out. And if you or a loved one is battling and want to have success the way these guys are, call us, 419-824-8462. We'll see you next time.
Amen.